Okay, a quick note before starting the episode. I fucked up. This fear eventually became real as I realized that I've made a lot of mistakes after defeating the Stag Lord. So, in order to achieve my quest in making a king of the wild hunt, I had to change some things. Last episode, I tried going full wizard due to greed, and I forgot how weak a wizard really is, so I disregarded strength. Also, regardless of how easy story mode should be, there's still a lot of things in this game that just rely too much on chance. I remember how excruciating RNG is in this game, but I forgot how ridiculous it is to roll a 1 on a lot of checks. So, in order to have an enjoyable playthrough, I had to prioritize strength, dexterity, and charisma. Those 3 stats go well with the sorcerer, although, I'm going to give multi-class another chance and mix this with a rogue class later on. That's all for now, so enjoy the show. It's time to kick Tartucco's butt. If you want to read everything, hopefully the dialogue is not too fast and can be readable while pausing. I'll try to summarize these voiceless dialogues as best as I can. TLDR, these bandits are extorting Oleg, and as the future baron of these lands you're going to help him fight them by default. After the fight, our heroes interview Oleg. He's a merchant, of which I recommend to not buy anything from him except for that inventory extension. The small bag of holding. Sell most items you find to him and save a lot of money to buy even better items after you defeat the Stag Lord. This is why strength was so important this time. I thought that this stat is just tied to damage, but apparently you need to carry a lot of loot. This here is Buchan. You can sell scrolls, potions, and alchemy stuff to him. I did not bother to check if there's a difference in prices, but I think it's just better to organize some things, so that if you need something from any merchant, you'll know who to look for. Still, don't buy anything. If you're really having a rough time in your own journey, there's plenty of helpful stuff that's lootable along the way. I think Alcat should add a switch weapon system in this game. A party that can switch from a ranged weapon to a melee weapon simultaneously is just so useful in an already chaotic battle. I'm sure Pillars of Eternity didn't patent such a feature, and since this game is still updating while a newer game is on development, hopefully they can squeeze in this system. See. If it wasn't so annoying to pause the game every time and switch back to a bow, these 3 wouldn't need to cross the sticky tar.
Hear me. Please hear me. Can you hear me? Please.
So, who are you? And why is a ghost haunting me after I killed some people? Wait. Don't answer the second question.
Who am I? Just a tear shed by the land itself. The bitter sigh of nature. I am a nymph, the guardian of this area. A defeated guardian. Call me the guardian of the bloom, if you wish.
I can sense the ridiculousness of your character, but let's judge a book by its beautiful cover, for the sake of the plot.
Beauty is so tender. It can so easily be crushed under the blows of cruel fate. But you can save it from being undone.
So, what does a ghost want from me?
aid, salvation. We have a common enemy, and long have I searched for someone who can defeat him. The one you call the Stag Lord. As a storm strikes ruthlessly with gusts and lightning, the Stag Lord wreaks havoc with the swords of his servants. And not just in the world of people. The land also suffers from the evil he brings. My forests and my flowers suffocate in this fog. Soon even I will vanish, as the last ray of light fades at dusk.
Okay, so dear person was the one who banned Dr. Disrisp. I mean, he made the fog, right?
Yes. It hides his fortress as well as his dark deeds. But while responsible, he did not create this affliction. It is the work of a powerful druid who has betrayed even himself. I know not why the powers did not leave this renegade, but even I was unable to defeat him.
Well, lucky for you, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
This fog, it enshrouds, entangles, suffocates. If only I could learn how it was created. But my powers wane. I have barely the strength to call out to you. All I know for certain is that somewhere in this forest lies an old house, and it echoes with the remnants of a strange power. The Stag Lord and his druid were there. The fog hides this place from me, but I can point you to the bandits' camp near the Thornford. Make them tell you where this place is. Go there and listen to the echo, catch the whispers, search for anything that can tell you how the fog was created. Once the fog clears, nature will breathe again, and you will be able to easily find your way to the fortress of our mutual enemy.
Okay, I'll try and do this quickly. I want to get that dueling sword as a reward for beating him within a month.
I don't believe in fate, stranger, but our meeting seems more than a coincidence.
This is the bard that's going to write the player's life story. Linza can be annoying sometimes, and it might be troubling to carry a weak range unit on the battlefield, but with multi-classing it becomes easier to convert her into a melee unit. For her story, TLDR, she's an aspiring author who originally came from a tiny village in Gald. She learned to read and write from a stranger named Tessie the Quill. Later on Linza developed her craft at Pitax, which makes me wonder why she isn't suspected to be a spy as well, but whatever. She sheds some light as to what Irovati is, the king of Pitax, and she warns us that her ring can save her from death, so plot-wise she's not gonna die unless the author wants to subvert your expectations. This is Anariel. She's technically a merchant as well, but instead of selling and buying stuff, you can recruit more members to your party, and if you made some mistakes in building your character you can reset things for free 3 times, although, I still do recommend to not buy mercenaries because as tempting as to have an extra member with a dedicated class while they increase the party's carrying capacity, and you can avoid some of your companions from getting triggered, still it's better to stick with your original companions because plot-wise they need to be present in specific events, and you can study multi-classing to get your desired result. Story-wise she's a veteran adventurer who got stuck here in the Stolen Lands due to Dear Boy's fog. She used to have a party as well, but they died, and now she's a mercenary captain. Svetlana here is Oleg's wife. Apparently she's giving us a quest to retrieve her wedding ring from the bandits without killing one of them specifically. The hint is obvious, most likely that one bandit is a friend or a family member who just made terrible choices in life. Right now we're just gathering info about the Stag Lord. I'm not sure if Thornford as a location doesn't show up in the map unless you talk to Oleg, but he reveals the location since that's where the bandits go before they return to their fortress. Buchan is also giving us some tedious quests. It's supposed to be a simple task of gathering food for him, but the game really knows how to make it interestingly difficult to some extent. Spoilers, and you need to hear this: gather the fangberries last right before you return to Oleg's trading post without resting, and having max dexterity and multi-classing as a rogue is necessary since you'll want to trick some guards that's protecting the radishes, or pray that Lindsay has enough skill points to successfully do so by then. Amory is the perfect party member you could ever have. She carries everyone's weight, both literally and in the battlefield while fighting as well. As much as possible it's safe to have her around, regardless of your alignment. Story-wise, she left her village due to reasons, most likely due to sexism, but it's hinted out that there's more to the story than just that. Especially since her sword is tied to the plot, hence you can't unequip and sell it, until her issues are resolved. Valerie is probably the opposite. Her stats were ridiculously useless, but multi-classing really does help. It's up to you as to what you want for her, but in my playthrough she's going to be a sorcerer. This helps resolve the issue of her relying on charisma later on in the game, and you can just drop the heavy shield and armor of which she has trouble carrying since they're only useful if you progress further with her fighter class levels. Story-wise, she was part of a religious militia called the Eternal Rose, left after becoming an atheist, a daughter of a noble house, yet she's actually just semi-spoiled and means well most of the time, unlike the corrupt ones, and she's apparently very beautiful, that it attracted a lot of unwanted attention. One day she had a suitor that annoyed her for the last time, and she gave him a very brutish reaction. This leads her to leave the militia rather than wait for some punishment for aggrieving one of the church's patrons. Also, she doesn't like compliments, so if you're planning to romance her, it's going to be tough. This is Remus. He's a little bit delusional and will cause trouble later, but for now he's trying to help by disclosing Tardicho's location.
Let's head out.
Let me guess, you're still dawdling. Should I make some tea in the meantime? Bake a pie, perhaps? Plant a small garden and harvest some cherries? Perhaps you'd be more comfortable wearing fool's caps and colored trousers. Then at least I'd be able to sell tickets. Come one, come all! Feast your eyes upon the slowest and the most ridiculous buffoons in Golorion!
Why hurry? The same end awaits us all.
Hold your tongue, gnome. I can hardly tell your twaddle from the buzzing of a fly.
Quickly now, if we don't find that artifact soon, someone else might seize it. Someone who's standing over there watching you right now, you fools!
Soja Ethel? Are you done helping this pipsqueak?
I see my magnificent rival will stop at nothing, even at stealing the servants of his enemy. Let us see if your fools are even more useless than mine! Draw your swords and cover my retreat!
Originally the plan is just to bend my character to the point that he's strong enough to do melee battle despite being a sorcerer, but it looks so epic being a giant elf, wielding a sword with full armor. Although, having armor is troubling for this class, but you can buff yourself before battle most of the time, then equip armor after the buffs are applied. So the only thing I need to complete my Wild Hunt quest is a full set of armor, teleport powers, and some ice powers or energy blasting rays that doesn't look like fire.
The path is clear.
How curious. What's that? What a surprise.
Listen to me.
A dragon, huge, sparkling, flew down to me from the sky and told me a secret. A great relic that will win the kobold's glory is hidden somewhere nearby. Enough of this pitiful existence. Search for it. Search and bring it to me.
Hey, Tartuccio. What's with this charade? How about you stop fooling these dumbass?
Who is there? How? Here, you fools, I mean tribesmen. Don't listen to his lies. I shall bring you to glory. Just help me find the relic and stop this trickster.
To victory!
We should prepare.
Greetings. I have urgent news from Restov. The investigation that I have conducted at Lady Jamandi's orders have proved your innocence. Tartuccio was and still is the Pataxian spy. That dreadful night, it was him who had opened the gate and let the assassins in. It appears that he had planned to gain the barony and Eldori's support, only to later place these lands under the command of his true patron. King Irovetti is no stranger to intrigue and likes to use others to do his dirty work. Anyway, Lady Jamandi sends her apologies. We almost had Tartuccio cornered when this damned mist fell. First, we entirely lost our way and then stumbled right into a bandit ambush. My people can barely stand, so I would be grateful if you would help us capture this Tartuccio. He must be somewhere nearby. Bring that scum to Oleg's trading post, dead or alive. The Sword Lords will remember this favor.
A favor for a favor then, can you do me a solid and explain how he managed to trick you all?
That sly bastard has caused us no little trouble, that's for sure. When he showed up in Restov and announced he was going to join the expedition, nobody suspected a thing. Yes, a gnome, yes, a sorcerer, but so what? Even after that terrible night, some of my people were willing to bet money on you being the spy. His overconfidence was his downfall. Tartuccio's henchmen, it seems, imagined they could safely meet with Pataxian spies in the town's seedy underbelly. But Restov is the ancestral home of the Eldori, and Lady Jamandi is respected not only by the aristocracy and the common folk, but also by those on the other side of the law. We received a message from the slums. A good friend, who wished to remain anonymous, suggested the Sword Lords take a closer look at a certain guest from Patax. Jamandi immediately sent for me and ordered me to capture the spy, all very quietly, of course. He told us everything, and not only about Tartuccio. I doubt that Irovetti was pleased to hear of his agent's failure. Pataxian spies are much like magpies. They'll grab anything that catches their eye. Information, treasure, artifacts. This time, King Irovetti had a chance to seize the entire Stolen Lands region, and at the Eldori's expense. I'll give you some advice for the future. Be wary of the Pataxian king. He's truly a snake of a man.
I'm assuming your name means something since only nobles have sure names.
Used to be. It's only a name now, nothing more. The House Garess are a noble family in Brevoy. They own several mines in the Galushkin Mountains. My father Evan is cousin to Lord Howland Garess, but he's my father no longer. In any case, I brought shame upon my name and was punished accordingly. The family disowned me. I fled to Restov and took up the life of a simple mercenary, until I received an assignment here in the Stolen Lands.
So, what did you do to get on your father's bad side? Don't worry and take your time, plot-wise nothing bad is going to happen, and the one possessing me at the moment made a post on Reddit as to how to save time and get that sweet dueling sword. Links is in the description.
Fair enough. For a Garess, the prosperity of the house and the honor of the name stands above all else, and I was betrothed to a widow from another noble house. This union was of great importance to the family. However, 3 months before the wedding, I met a commoner girl, gentle and pure, and we fell in love. I would have rather died than leave my Tanya, so I decided to break off the engagement with my noble bride. I could never have expected what would follow. My father was furious. I'd set a pointless love affair above the interests of the house. He expelled me from the family and ordered to leave our lands under threat of death. And Tanya, her mother was seriously ill, and she stayed behind to care for her rather than follow me into exile. Thus, I was on my own, disgraced, without a name, and without love. Don't imagine that I ask for pity. Everyone gets what they deserve.
I say you deserve better, Kessin. True love should not be punished.
What's done is done.
I want to continue this interrogation. You could call this revenge for assuming that I was a spy.
Well then, ask away.
Describe your home and family for me. It might be useful in the future when I visit that place and meet them.
House Garess owns a number of valleys and gorges in the Galushkan Mountains. The landscape makes these places easily defensible, and they're rich in ores and everything else the depths of the earth have to offer. It is a place of rare beauty. When I moved to Restov, I couldn't get used to it for a long time. There was nothing but sky between the roofs, no mountain peaks anywhere in sight. It is an old and renowned family, one of the most influential in Brevoy. A long time ago, the Garess house entered a pact with the dwarven clan of Golka. This proved to be of great benefit to both parties, and they've supplied the ore for our forges ever since. Lord Howland even took the son of the dwarven leader as his ward. Who would have known where this would lead? The same winter that Brevoy lost the Rogarvia dynasty, Howland's only natural son, Bran, went missing in the mountains. Thus, Toval Golka, the Lord's dwarven ward, became heir to House Garess. The lad has it tough, though. Too many believed Howland should have chosen someone of his own blood to be the heir. I would imagine my own father had similar plans for me, but we all know how that went.
That's all for now, thanks for the info.
As you wish.
The conflict between these monsters is kinda significant. Both parties stole from each other and now they're at war. If I was neutral I could have resolved this issue easily, but since I'm chaotic good, I'll just have to eliminate them both and spare their leaders later. This is somewhat good since it weakens both monsters while their leaders remain subservient to you in the future, so we won't have to burn down this giant tree, and hopefully, killing the peaceful ones will prevent them from marrying and allying with each other. If two former enemies get the idea that they're stronger when they're working together, they'll just create more trouble for your citizens in the future.
Bring it!
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. These peaceful ones may seem nice but they still have an evil alignment. Sure, the overarching theme of the story is that everyone can redeem themselves, but to spoil the ending a little, they will still cause trouble unless you visit them from time to time. Elves live long, but not forever, and the strength to give them a good wallop will wane over the years. So strike the iron while it's hot. Although, for now just do the quest they give by killing the wolves for optimal loot harvesting. Also, if you want to clear the map with ease, I recommend that you get Harem out of the caves as fast as possible. In that way you have a healer, and your carrying capacity is increased while you have all the units you need to quickly kill off a horde of creeps.
Tread
You're
light.
but a footnote in our story.
Forwards!
Do not attack!
The trick here to get a lot of loot is to not kill Soot Scale right off the bat. In easy mode just ignore him until you kill everyone else. In hard mode, peace is really the best option, although, if it's not on the table then find him and rush to kill him instead.
A solid plan. Let's head out.
And then our leader charged forwards. Hey, wait for me!
Attack! My voice exceeds yours.
So these are the wolves. Again, you should do their quest first before killing them, in that way you'll get that hidden treasure, and you can also eliminate another horde of enemies without tiring out your units. Conserving energy is also key to save time and defeat the Stag Lord within a month.
Adventures call to them.
These are the guards that I was talking about earlier. Tricking them is a must, so that the radishes you steal don't get trampled. And now you can kill them. After this you'll take the reward from those peaceful folks, and stab them in the back as well.
Worthy.
See how my sorcerer doesn't get hit? In easy mode, you'll have the freedom to choose dodge abilities rather than min-maxing with the necessary stats you need just to inflict a decent amount of damage to your enemies. We won't even need armor later on, but for appearances, it's cool to equip the heaviest armor you could find.
I shall not fail.
Scared? You should be.
Now this one was an annoying boss. I remember that someone claimed to use Acid Splash to kill this freak, but I think he just got lucky with his rolls or something. I think that the real weakness to this boss is True Strike skill. The only thing that makes this boss annoying is his dodge abilities, so having a skill that renders it useless is really effective. See, he died without damaging our units too much.
We've downed better ones.
The same method with Soot Scale. Don't kill that too early.
Stay behind me.
Aim carefully.
Despicable.
Become
Next strike is one. Do not falter.
No contest.
Onward. Stay behind me. Unworthy.
Tread lightly. Let's head out.
Oh, my impromptu rival. You are late, as always. A little advice? Never join any races. Speed is just not for you.
So, no one still bothered checking what's underneath that skin suit?
Do you mean the performance I put on for the kobolds? Wasn't this an excellent idea? The poor folks did everything I wanted, even started a brawl with their beloved neighbor mites. I did not even need to make any effort to complete my mission. That is why I will always be a step ahead of you and the like.
And this is the person I nearly made the hero of my book? Ew.
Without a doubt, Vice does have its advantages. However, in the end, it always, you hear me? Always gets what it rightfully deserves.
Valerie, that was cringy. Tarts, newsflash, everyone in Restov knows you're a spy now.
But you don't know my mission, and won't ever know because I will never tell you, even for the pleasure of seeing your discouraged face.
Sure buddy, I'll try my best in giving a discouraged expression after hearing all about it.
Don't take me for an idiot. I am not going to tell you anything, even despite the fact that I am going to kill you. By the way, did you know I am going to kill you?
Tarts. Let's not resort to our basic instincts and handle this like civilized men.
We do, dimwit, we really do. You know too much. And truth be told, I am simply tired of you.
Two wretched things.
What a sorry spectacle. The treacherous servant of a treacherous king, who in his turn is mere servant to even greater powers. He impersonates a lesser creature and dies. A good joke is a powerful weapon, and a bad one can seal the Joker's fate. So be it. Rise, my unfortunate jester. Your performance is not over yet.
And that's the end of Tartuccio, though his corpse is alive, but it's just a shadow of his former self. I might have taken too long to record this due to a lot of experimenting and mistakes I found myself stuck in. I was ready to give up 2 days ago and say my sorries for overpromising, but I really do think it's possible to make a Wild Hunt character while beating the game and getting a perfect ending. Hopefully the next episode comes earlier this time. I've already beaten the Stag Lord while editing this video. So it's just a matter of editing it.
Be careful.
That's all for now. Thanks for watching.